Bari Weiss has finally done it. It's perhaps always been working towards this. She's decided to take the last leap and just ruin the last thing of real value that CBS had, which is 60 Minutes. Not only is it the last thing of value they have, it's the thing that got Donald Trump to hyper-focus on CBS in the first place. And it had to go because it was doing good journalism. So first of all, she's firing anyone with integrity or experience left at the show. So the executive producer, Tanya Simon, correspondent, Cecilia Vega, were both fired on Thursday, as was the executive editor. Weiss named journalist Nick Bilton as the show's new executive producer, who we will return to him. But first, I want you to hear from one of those who was just fired. So Cecilia Vega, who I believe was the first Latina correspondent on 60 Minutes, responded to the firing, saying in part this: "I was fired today. My contract as a correspondent for 60 Minutes was not set to expire until March 2027. I have the utmost respect and admiration for my colleagues at 60 Minutes and the stories that air every Sunday. But I very much fear what comes next for and the future of the legendary broadcast. Let's call this what it is: censorship, both imposed and self-driven. It is dangerous for the show and dangerous for democracy. In recent months, my producing teams and I have experienced efforts to insert political bias into our stories. I know from many conversations with colleagues that many producing teams and correspondents working on the show today have had to fight to maintain editorial independence with regularity. Today I lost an amazing job, but I still have my integrity. To my former colleagues, continue to hold the line." So look, obviously you get rid of the executive producer, who I believe had been there for 30 years, because you want to have control and you want to be able to fire a bunch of other people and change a bunch of other standards. But you also fire Vega because Vega led up the CCOT story that Weiss pulled off the air. It had no factual issues, no errors. The regime just didn't want it, and she dared to work on it, so she had to be fired. That's how things work now, because CBS has become government state-sanctioned media. That's all that it is. So Bill Owens had been the former executive producer, quit after decades due to what Weiss was doing. He said they're killing 60 Minutes. There's your big quote for this story. So let's talk about the guy who will be in charge. Nick Bilton, who will relocate to New York from LA, is an unconventional choice. All of his predecessors have come from traditional broadcast news. He does not have any experience with traditional broadcast news. He started his career as a designer at the time, then became a tech columnist before leaving to join Vanity Fair as a correspondent. So he's worked on documentaries, writing and directing Fake Famous, an HBO film about aspiring social media influencers, and serving as a producer on The Inventor, Out for Blood in Silicon Valley, which involved Elizabeth Holmes. And so he said it's too early to describe his plans for 60 Minutes in detail, but added that he would place an emphasis on telling stories beyond the weekly show and experimenting with new voices from outside traditional broadcast news. I have no doubt. So CBS is being screwed over because they chose someone to run it who has no experience or qualifications to do so. And they've now decided to take the crown jewel in CBS and put in charge of it a person who seemingly has no qualifications really to do so and no experience running something like it. I'm sure it's gonna work out great. Bearing in mind, I'm being sarcastic, it doesn't have to. If it literally dies and they cancel it, that's fine from their point of view. They don't want it to exist. Brett, what do you think?
Like this happening at a time when the legislature is trying to throw out, Republicans in the legislature to please Trump are trying to throw out the regulation that prevents a living person from being placed on our currency so they can get his face on the $250 bill. These things are the same. Getting rid of the fourth estate and enshrining yourself on iconography while you're in charge of the country. These are dictatorial playbooks. You can't convince me they're not. I can go pull out a bottle of vodka my brother got from Turkmenistan. That's the national Turkmen vodka, and the guy's face is on the bottle.
Yep.
Like giant arcs with Trump's name on it. This is the stuff that he is doing to enshrine power so he can go until he dies. It's funny, it's like they're doing the reverse Iran on this. And everybody who was on 60 Minutes was about to die anyway. This one, at least they're taking out like the next generation first.
Yeah.
Dorks.
No, it's like this is what we were worried about, in the first election, especially in the second election. And it's being done. And all we can do is point out that it's being done, express, how worried we are about the future of our country. Because this is Hungary. this is what they did, and they're doing it here. They had the rich elite friends of the president kill the media companies that would dare to investigate the president.
And this is the most important thing, I think, is that this is 60 Minutes. This is traditional television. This is something that, like so many industries in America, are embattled and possibly dying. And there are two options you have. One, try to fix it, try to invest in ways to make it better for the future, make it work the way it's supposed to, and adapt it maybe just from a format perspective, or you just finish it off. And this is not making it more popular. We saw that with the Colbert's replacement you were talking about yesterday with Byron Allen. Like, it's not more popular, the replacement. They're not fixing it. They're just cannibalizing it for, and they don't realize that they're doing that they're really just eating away at what makes the country great in the first place.